Welcome back. And of course, the world continues to react to the death of Pope Francis.
Yeah, for more, we're joined by entertainment editor Peter Ford. G'day, Pete. What's the latest?
Well, it's a fascinating time we're now into that I think even if you're not Catholic, it's such an interesting time of mourning and then going into the funeral preparations and then, of course, the conclave itself. And no doubt the Hollywood movie has made that all the more interesting and accessible to people to follow as it plays out. One thing I did want to show you, yesterday I referenced Whoopi Goldberg and that event they held last year at the Vatican where 100 comedians were invited to go. Now, today, overnight, our time was the first day back on air for The View because of the Easter break. And Whoopi has referenced that particular event and how important it was to her. Take a look at this.
He brought 100 comedians from around the world.
Yeah.
100 of us
I remember that.
in to meet with him. And what he said was, I want to laugh more.
Oh.
So, yeah, isn't that an interesting thing that they did? And, of course, the coverage in the, well, potentially months ahead is going to be now, of course, in very safe hands with Chris Reason on the ground, which is great. But Conclave, of course, which had been a very successful movie, is now being rediscovered. People who didn't get to it before this are now checking it out, and other people are going back and watching it because most of the experts have said they do believe that it actually was a very accurate portrayal of what does happen within the walls of the Vatican.
I've got to say, it wasn't on any of our lists of things to watch, but now we're putting time aside to have a look at that. George Clooney has opened up in an interview with a theatre great, meanwhile, Pete.
With Patti LuPone.
Hey.
We haven't mentioned her. We haven't mentioned her for at least 3 weeks.
Where's your bell? You usually...
I haven't got the bell. Bad me. But anyway, so what they've done, Variety, you know how they do those actors on actors where movie stars talk to each other, interview each other, and then, of course, they're very relaxed chats, so all sorts of things come out. Well, they're now doing it with theatre stars, and this is the first one to have dropped. And, of course, George Clooney is now a theatre star, only just because he's just opened in this play. Good, as we talked about yesterday, the bad hair dye. So, and of course, they're both very outspoken politically, and needless to say, very much lean towards the left. So here is a little of the 50 minutes. It's not all politics. A lot of it's about the craft of acting. And George actually brought Patti to tears when he talked about having seen her on stage and how she will, this is the word he used, levitate an audience and bring them up to this emotional journey with her. And in fact, he said on camera, let me ring my wife Amal. She knows what a huge fan I am of yours, and she is too. And so they went about ringing Amal, and so she could have a quick word to Patti as well. So check it out. It's a lot of fun. You can find it online.
Online, it's on YouTube.
Hey, Pete, do you write to Patti LuPone? Because we heard yesterday you were writing to the late Pope.
I do, actually.
You do
yes, I do.
And does she reply to you?
Always, yeah, always. So, why? I shouldn't mention things like that
No,
on
you
the show.
should. It's important.
Because it becomes a thing with you.
No, it's important. No, Pete, it's important. Please mention
All right. Okay, all right.
Pete, a classic Aussie show is making a return to screens.
Yeah, so number 96, and it's coming back. It's coming back by way of a streaming service called Broadway. It's going to be free for you. You've got to access Broadway, but it's then free for you to watch it. And we're going back in time. We really are. I mean, the first 2 years of this were in black and white, and there's only 18 of those black and white episodes left. But once it got into colour, you know, we have those episodes, and Broadway will be dropping them over a period. Oh my God, that's the night the bomb went off.
Yes.
Australia came to a stop that night, as it did the night that the pantyhose strangler was revealed as well.
Right.
I mean, these were huge things. We'd never seen the likes of a show like this before.
Yeah.
And, you know, it had a lot of shock value and nudity and adult themes. And also it had, of course, a lot of comedy as well. There are great characters in there like Dory and Herb and Mummy and Daddy. Beautifully created show by a man called David Sale, who's up on the Gold Coast these days, still very much with us. So there's the bomb going off. It's coming up, the bomb explosion's coming up for 50 years in June. Yeah. So the building is of course still standing in Moncur Street, Wallara. People still turn up there and expect to see Dory and Herb and Arnold Feather and Dudley Butterfield.
Abigail was my first girlfriend.
Oh, yeah, in your mind. Yeah, of course she was.
She didn't know about it.
Yeah.
But we were very close. She didn't know.
quick shout out to Elizabeth Kirkby, who played Lucy in number 96.
Yeah.
She's 104 years old, and she watches the morning show every day. That's her there in the pink dressing gown there. Lucy and Alf were quite the couple. They were
Yes.
kind of the real ordinary people of the show, working
Love
people.
it.
But anyway, number 96, May 16, Broly is what you've got to get access to.
Hello, Elizabeth, if you're watching this morning.
Yeah.
That's gorgeous. Thanks, Pete.
Thanks, Pete. I used to watch it from behind the couch. I wasn't allowed to watch
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
so I'd
yeah.
sneak out and watch it behind the couch.
Yeah.
I love Abigail. Very close.